Hello, my friends. Yesterday, I talked about the intuition. Uh, what is so important about that? And I really want to bring that home deeper in case you're not fully aligned with that yet. We are moving into a very, very different way of being, state of being, way of functioning. Literally, the old way, as I have talked about so often, it's those energies are disappearing or dissolving or who knows what. They're not really here anymore in the same way they used to be, and they will be less and less and less. If you are connected to your intuition, to your heart, to your soul sense, then you will, of course, know what I'm talking about because it is so obvious at times. It's like, wow, there is a whole different energy available to us in a way that I think most of us or all of us have never experienced before. And it might be a little unfamiliar. Can I trust that? How do I navigate that? How do I live from and as that? And these are all good questions that we all need to ask ourselves and then take the time to really get to know these energies and how we can make ourselves available for them. If you want to live in a connected way from the field, from this different energy, from a higher frequency, which I often say it's like, you plug in your plugs into the field and then you experience it. It's because it's here. It's not like we need to do anything to bring it here. It is here. But if you're not tuned in to your intuition, to the wisdom in your heart, to your deeper knowing, it's because you're probably tuned in to your mind and what you see happening in the world, which doesn't look very interesting or peaceful or trustworthy to me, and less. So if you're only tuned into that, what's going on out there, and you're experiencing that through your mind, through your five sense mind, the dualistic mind, that is your reality. If you want to come to a place where you feel free and liberated, you have to come here into your heart, into your soul sense, your soul connection, your intuition. That is the only place where you will be able to sense what is also here. You can say that both are definitely here, but it depends through which lens you are looking. And that's why most people are looking through their five sense mind and they only see, uh, shall we say, disaster, chaos, insanity. And that is what you will experience when you only look through here. But you will not find freedom or peace or true love in there because it doesn't exist there. It is a different reality that is not necessarily connected to our soul connection, to our soul wisdom, our heart, and our intuition. So it is a matter of choosing. What I did a video recently, separating the chaff from the wheat, which is a biblical term, of course. But that is what we're going through. And we have to make that separation. We have to say yes to that. It's like we have been living at this wheat kernel, this divine essence, but it's been covered by the chaff, right? By the shell or whatever. And now that the shell is opening up, we can see it, where before it was just like it was one thing. But now that there is a separation happening, we can see it. And from that place, it's only up to us to choose if we want to keep living as the chaff or as the wheat kernel. If I can use that again, you can go back and watch that video if you haven't seen it yet. And that is where we are at. We can also say, some people talk about, there's a split in timelines where for a long time we have all lived in this contraction, separation, duality, the mind. So there was only one thing to go with. But now there's these newer energies, these higher frequencies available to us. And now we can choose. We can say, I want to keep living the way I have. I want to keep, protesting and being upset and blame and protest against wars or enjoy the wars, live in limitation, duality. That is a choice. It wasn't much of a choice for a long time because it was all we knew. We were born into it. There's not much choice. If you're just a fish, you're born into the water. You don't know you're in water. It's just how it is, right? But now there is choice in a way there hasn't been before. And I highly invite you and encourage you to make that choice. How do you do that? Well, I would say when you start out, it's kind of a moment to moment thing where you learn to listen and you just start feeling, is this true? Do I want that? Does that resonate with me? And then the more you learn to trust your inner, and it's difficult in the beginning. I totally agree. It's like, can I trust that? What is this thing? How do I know that's true? I'm used to my mind telling me what's true. So that is a process and can be a challenging one for sure. But that's where you start, just starting with in the smaller areas where you just get to know your intuition, get to know how the new energies communicate through you and as you. And then the more you get used to that, it just becomes so clear, is the best way I can say it. It's just there is no choosing anymore. There's just like I'm just on this in this timeline now, or I'm in this flow now, and I'm just not gonna put the chafe back, chafe, is that how you pronounce it, back on the wheat. I want to stay open and free and following the energy from there, and then see what happens. Whereas when we lived like this, we trusted this to tell us what would happen. And most of the time, it was not good. It was scary. What if? What might happen? I'm afraid, bad things will happen to me. I'm not good enough. That was that covering that we have lived inside, but we didn't know it was a cover. We believed it was us. I believed that was me. There was no separation. There is separation now. And in that gap of separation, that's where we can say, okay, I don't want that thing anymore. I want this. And then you can choose that over and over until it's just like, why would I choose? That makes no sense. Of course I'm this. There's no two anymore. And that's what's happening. I just had tea with a friend earlier today, and we were just talking about like, wow, it's just so amazing. Everything is shifting. There's so much light. There's so much energy. There's so much space. And this is, of course, because we're tuning into the field. And in that, there is also, for me, like, I don't want to do the hard work anymore. That doesn't make sense anymore. When you are here, the hard work that was surrounding us, that was how we thought it was supposed to be. But when you're in here, that makes no sense. Of course, we can do hard work, because we enjoy it. I do hard work. I think I've shared before when I go digging in my garden, when I do my aerial dancing, the ropes or the silks. It's really, really hard, but I love it. I'm having so much fun doing it. So that's a different kind of hard work. But the hard work that I used to do is like, oh, I have to do this to make this happen. And it was also like, oh, it's not enjoyable hard work for me. It may be for you. Is that something we each need to figure out what actually does feel good? But I don't want to do it anymore. I just want to live from here. I want to do what feels good and joyful. And anything that comes in from the outside telling me otherwise, I'm done. I'm just done. Now, am I done all the way through? There are certainly things, I don't want to just make it like a pie in the sky thing. There are certain things that I probably still have to do, right? Pay my bills or, all that stuff. So yeah, that is still part of it, but I am pulling out wherever I can. I pull out and say, no more choosing here. I'm choosing this. And now I need to learn to trust this more and more, to trust that this is already my fulfillment, my health, my expression, my naturalness, my open heart, my connection. That is who and what I already am, as it is the same for you. So the more I choose that, and the more I say no to that, then I just put my abiding, my resting in here more and more. And then it can express itself to me, to my consciousness, my willingness to be here. In that I simply open up to it and make myself available for it, an available vessel that doesn't have to do anything except following what this guides me to do. That is what we can call intuition. But what is intuition? It's basically just our own soul expression, our own soul connection that we're coming back to now and finally making ourselves available for. And then you will experience more joy, like my friend and I shared today. There's just naturally more joy. And the worry from out here, right, the dualistic chaff that we were covered in. Is it called chaff or chafe? Chafe, I think it's called. Sorry, that's my Danish sometimes. I don't know the right pronunciations. But in here, out here, it was super hard. But it's not like that in here. It's different. And it takes time to get used to that. And it takes time to trust it. That do I really need to do this? If I don't want to, hello. And, or can I just wait and see what unfolds? So that is learning to live by the divine, as the divine, in trust from my intuition. And that's where the freedom is. There is a real sense of freedom in that, because the lack of freedom that we were identified with is not blocking the view or blocking the flow as it goes out anymore. So it's a totally internal experience and journey that we're on now, where more and more we need to learn the language of our intuition, which is felt in the body, in your heart. And I have done some other YouTubes about that. It comes down to what does a yes feel like and what does a no feel like. And that's the flow. It's like yes, no, right, left, up, down, stop, go. It's that choice all the time to stay in your own flow and simply learning to trust it. I highly recommend it. If you do need support in that, which is totally okay, totally valid for most of us, if not all of us, please reach out and set up a self-discovery session with me. And then we can explore if you really want this and what's getting in your way and what kind of support you might need. Okay, my friends. Oh, and also please like, share, subscribe, and comment if you want. I love the comments, so keep them coming. All right, have a great day.